Welcome to Roll Call, a 126th Air Refueling Wing podcast of the Illinois Air National Guard at Scott Air Force Base. I'm your host, Technical Sergeant Brian Ellison. The Roll Call podcast focused on people, mission, and community. It's the beginning of the month, so we're joined in the studio by Miss Keely Speck from Airman and Family Readiness. Did you just point at the camera and give it a big thumbs up? Oh, I thought you gave it one of those. Hey.
No, I just said.
Oh, okay. Yes. Rock and roll is what she said. Devil horns, rocking out. So you are still taking nominations, right, for the food baskets?
Yeah, I'm doing fine. How are you?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. How are you?
Welcome. I'm doing fine. It's fine. It's fine. I'm only here for business purposes.
Yes. We don't want to get to know
My
you
feelings
personally.
don't matter.
How are you doing, Miss Keely Speck? It's been I know it's been a tough week for you.
I actually did start the 1st of November. I joined a self-care challenge, which sounds surface level, like kind of obnoxious, a bunch of love yourself type posts, but it's actually been pretty unique. Some of the things, like not unique, but things that are actually very beneficial and super small. They take like 5 minutes. Like, did you know going outside is like good for you?
I've heard.
Have you heard?
I've heard the rumor. Now, I'm not a big fan of doing that unless it's to ride my bike. And that's the only time I want to go outside. I'm not a camper. I don't do any of that stuff. But
it was such good timing because over Halloween was really good weather. And then
it was great. Really
this whole week has been, I've been eating outside. Like I've had lunch outside. I've had to telework the last week. So I've been outside and like just fresh air. That's bananas. Like just how good just fresh air is. That I think it's like we really take for granted the things that like actually help us get through anything.
This is true. Yeah. Exercise I found helps a lot too.
Yeah.
That helps a whole bunch. And is that part of so you said you're in some kind of self-care group. Is that what it is?
No, not
I would say
really.
it's on social media, but you are.
I do social media.
You do?
Just not some social media.
Oh, I
but
see.
It's a graphic designer that I really like, and
okay.
She's going through a hard time, so she figured everyone globally might be going through a hard time, and was like,
perhaps, yeah,
maybe we should look inward a little bit and do like 5 minutes of things we're maybe not doing, and so that's been really helpful.
That's fantastic. I really like to hear that.
Fresh air, who knew?
Amazing. Fresh air. Okay, so you are taking nominations for... we got to get back into it.
You know
what?
We
can sit here and talk some more. What other things are you doing for self-care?
I would love to tell you about the holiday help baskets. So this will be the last drill that we're really pushing for nominations. Families can nominate themselves, but we're really pushing for leadership to gather the names and collect them to us, because it's been a tough year for people. If anyone, hello, if you're listening, it's been a tough year. Just a heads up, FYI. Maybe they weren't paying attention. I don't know. Maybe they weren't here. I don't know. Maybe you're just returning from the moon and you forgot. It's been rough. So I would really like to encourage leadership to, not because I want leadership to meddle into people's situations necessarily, but it's really good to have that pulse of what your people are going through before you hand them a wrench and tell them to go to work. It just... none of the mission exists without the people. And so if we neglect the people as a whole, we're missing out on way too many things. And what's the mission for then? So really, really getting to the root of, how are my people? Do they need help? Maybe none of them need help financially, or, but maybe just asking the question opens the door for something else. So that's really why we're foot stomping that the first sergeants and chiefs and higher leadership in each unit really talks to their people. And I think a lot of units do that really, really well. And I applaud them. So we still have slots available. We have about 30 slots available still for holiday help.
And so if they want to get a hold of you, we'll put information in the description of this podcast so that they can reach out to you, email you, or they can also call your guys' office phone number at Airman and Family Readiness.
Yes, and the support is growing. So it started off as just baskets, then it was gift cards for groceries, and there may possibly be, then there was trees, and now there may be gifts involved. So the sponsorship of these families is starting to develop over time as we get closer to the holidays. So it's really important. Financial need is definitely the biggest component of this holiday help.
And certainly with everything that's, going on in our area, things open up and then they shut back down. Things open up and then they shut back down. So that can really play with people's finances. So I think what you're trying to say is just kind of keep your ear to the ground and see if there's people out there that you think or may know that needs help. Give them the Airman and Family Readiness phone number, email, or get them, nominate them yourself.
Yeah, or really... the last thing I'd say on that is there is no rank disparity here. You may be a major on drill weekends, but maybe you're a teacher full-time or a teacher's aide full-time who's really struggling to get those hours. We have bus drivers, we have food service workers. So I really wouldn't assume that anyone's rank makes them immune to any financial distress.
We'll put the description in the description of the podcast. We'll put that email address. The phone number, we'll give that out, 618-222-5784. Other things coming up this month, you have virtual financial planning this month, correct?
We do. This drill weekend, there's going to be a virtual opportunity to connect with the personal financial planner. And she is basically just going to be walking people through holiday spending, how to prepare for an increase in your budget. If you have family coming, well, we'll see.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
But there may be families that grow a little bit more during the holidays, that they have more attendance at a dinner, for example. So that may include buying more cleaning products. But definitely the groceries or the electricity bill, even if you don't have any new guests in your home, just it's winter. If you don't have a fireplace, maybe you're spending a lot more on energy. And so it's just good to reevaluate your finances throughout your lifespan. Even if you're making plenty of money and you're not stressed about paycheck to paycheck, that's also a good spot to really reanalyze your priorities with financial spending. And she's amazing. So she will be having 2 classes, one on Saturday and one on Sunday. But more importantly, if people wanted to have one-on-one time with her to actually just dig through their own documents or talk about taxes, talk about investing, if they have questions on the TSP. Really, she's phenomenal. Then she'll also have open Zoom hours for that as well.
Okay. And we could put this all in the description of the podcast. And also, we're doing this on video now, and I can put that up on the screen. If you're watching, go to YouTube and you can see it there. You can watch this podcast. Watch us make the magic.
You're just really
podcast.
Modern fancy.
Yeah.
Is your goal Joe Rogan experience?
Never. Never thought about Joe Rogan. Nope, we're good.
That's not the setup you want?
Nope, that's not the setup I want. I'm more of a Jimmy Pardo kind of guy, never not funny. It's one of my favorite comedians. This is the month of the military family.
It is.
Yeah, what's going on with that? You guys had a nice event. Speaking of Month of the Military Family, and maybe digressing here about Halloween. You had a nice Halloween celebration.
Yeah, Halloween really was a good introduction for the Month of the Military Family. I was really excited. We got to do our first deployment event for families. Normally we have to go to, I don't know if we talked about this last time, but normally they have to go through the active duty family readiness to get what's called the Hearts Apart program. So it's basically like fun-free activities, free, fun, not free of fun.
Okay.
I said fun-free, which sounds like dairy-free.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Free of fun.
Okay, we'll cut that in post. So normally we have to send them to, quote unquote, the other side of the base. And for a lot of our deployers currently, at least there were enough complaints, kind complaints, that they live too far away and it's just not convenient. And with the virus, it was just a big risk to try to get involved into these events, but they would like something because their kids need it or they need it. And so I collaborated with Wounded Warrior Project, which is a phenomenal organization. And we hosted a virtual bingo night where everybody was sent home treat bags and a couple of other goodies. And then Wounded Warrior Project paid for their favorite type of pizza to be delivered to their houses right before the event so they could have dinner. And then we would play bingo. And we were all in costumes. And it was super fun. We told the worst jokes the whole time. Charlie from Wounded Warrior Project is also really big on those kind of dad jokes, but also with the number. If he calls like I-29, like he's really excited to say, I still wish I was 29 or something ridiculous that's like nobody gets it or likes it, but they laugh anyway. So it was really cool to see everybody in costume. And we had families with multiple kids, and we had like parents also of the deployers. So we had about 10 families. It was a limited number that we could host, but luckily it worked out perfect. And it was just really cute to see everybody. You don't think bingo's fun. Like, I don't know about you, but when I first see, let's go play bingo, I'm not like, woohoo. It does not sound appealing and fun. Right. And then when you get into it, and then you're so close to a bingo, and then some other rascal is like, bingo! And then you're like, dang it! And like, I really gotten into it. So it was fun to see. We'd have like kids racing to save bingo, and they got to choose their prize if they won. Oh, cool. So most of them chose Legos or the restaurant gift card. So yeah, it was a lot of fun.
So yeah, that's a great way. I mean, to kick off Month of the Military Family at the end of at the end of October into November, talking about Month of the Military Family. What other opportunities are coming up?
So, for the holidays, every other year we do a kids' holiday party, and we've had to get a little bit creative with what we're gonna do this year because this would be the year we would do it, and so we've decided that the safest way to do it is going to be doing multiple showtimes of a movie, and we'll just set up the base theater with minimal capacity, and we'll just play The Grinch, and we'll have pictures with Santa, but we're going to create a picture frame basically so that it keeps people safe. They're not going to be sitting on anyone's lap, but they can still get their picture. The Grinch, you got to watch out for him. He might just...
The Grinch is going to show up.
He might show up.
Really?
Maybe. I can't say. I don't know him. We're not personal friends, so I can't really say for sure, but maybe you need to watch out.
Breaking news.
You know?
You're here to hear first. The Grinch may be at the kids' holiday party.
Can't confirm
or
deny. Oh. That's the fun part of secrets.
You need to show up.
Yeah. But we are going to have, instead of people showing up in big swaths or big groups, it's really going to be focused on those who are bringing their kids. Their airmen are allowed to go with them, but we're not going to have like 10 cops go just by themselves to the movie, just because we're having people register in advance. Now, if that person registers in advance, they register in advance. That's perfectly fine. We're just not going to have any walk-ins because we're going to be keeping track at the door.
Okay.
We have to. The mandate says 25% of max capacity.
Wow. You said they have to register. How do they go through the Airman and Family Readiness mailbox that you guys have to register for that?
So pretty soon in everybody's emails, they're going to get the newsletter, and there's going to be a section on there where you can select your preferred show time. So that way, there's 3 options, and that way, if people if too many people select one of the show times, I could reach out to them and say, hey, would you mind switching to this show time? Or just to make sure that we can really only keep, I think, 60 to 70 people per show time. It's possible that we don't have to move everybody. I definitely don't want people to feel unsafe coming to this event. So the reason why we're having people register in advance is not only for a head count to maintain max capacity, but also so that we have a registration ahead of time in case afterwards we need to do any contact tracing.
Yeah.
Because that's going to be really important, is the aftercare, really, if we want to be responsible. So we have plans, and we definitely have a plan B in case any restrictions get any tighter. So we just kind of adapt, and we just kind of roll with how this year has been going. And that's really why when we talk about military families, that's what we're normally used to in our environment, is adapt and adapt and adapt and just keep being flexible. And I think it's just a lot more this year. With us having 180 deployers, we have parents and brothers and daughters who were going back and forth between, when is my dad leaving? When is my mom coming back? When is, it was a stressful beginning to this deployment cycle. And even just for all of our drill status, coming in or not every month, waiting like a week before, like, when is it getting canceled, or is it getting canceled? And so it's been rough on everyone, right? And so really just trying to provide information to people, and just even when they come in and when we're talking to people, just reminding them that them as a person, they're a member of their family, they're not just an airman, they are a part of the Air National Guard, and they're all these other things. And when we talk about military families, I think we do a disservice if we don't acknowledge the everything else.
Right.
Because when they go home to their family isn't like, hey, you're an airman, let's talk about it all month. They're everything else when they go home. So it's nice to take that hat off sometimes if it's a heavy responsibility, but it's also just nice to remind them that, hey, I see you, and that goes with their families as well, that we see them, and they're not just valuable to us because they support our mission. They're valuable to us because they support our airmen, which it enables the mission. If we didn't have the airmen, like I said earlier, we wouldn't have any mission. And so those family dinners, those late night softball throws, those goofy games they play just for fun, tag teaming laundry and dishes, like all of that is what makes the Air National Guard and the military work. So if we did not have that family component, it wouldn't work.
Right.
Really, people, just honestly take care of yourselves. And for everybody, that's going to look super, super different. Not everyone likes a bubble bath. And honestly, as we were talking about at the top of the hour, going outside, fresh air, even when it's cold out, put your coat on and just breathe for even a minute. Get out of your space a little bit. If you start to feel like you're getting closed in or anxious or down, just changing your environment even a little bit, holding on to some ice cubes, trying to get somewhere near plants, maybe put a teeny tiny plant on your desk. Even if it's fake, it has the same effect of just seeing greenery, and just honestly give yourself at least 5 minutes of true and undistracted attention to how you're feeling and what you really need.
We're here with Keely Speck from Airman and Family Readiness. Keely, we all know you bring us the dad joke every month. What do you have for us this month?
Okay, since we're coming on winter, but it's still a little warm outside, even though it's supposed to be winter.
Mm-hmm.
So what does a snowman take when they're getting too hot?
I don't know. What do they take?
A chill pill.
All right.
Thank you. Throw money.
That is Keely Speck from Airman and Family Readiness. Thanks for stopping by, Keely.
Well, thank you so much for having me. This has been a blast. I hope you have a wonderful month.
One thing I want to point out that Colonel Jeremiah Scott Heathman, the 375th Air Mobility Wing Commander, said that based on the continued need for force protection and further mitigation of the COVID threat, masks are now required 100% of the time while out at the James Gym and Warmer Gym. He wants us to all help him out and make sure that we're complying. And if you're hearing this message, make sure your friends also hear this message. You can go to the 126th Air Refueling Wing Facebook page to find out what's going on. Also, go check out the 126th Air Refueling Wing Public Affairs YouTube page. You can maybe you'll see this video up, definitely, of this month's podcast. If you want me to highlight something on the Roll Call podcast, look us up. You can send me an email, 126ARW. That's 126.arw.pa.mm.org@us.af.mil. Thanks for listening to Roll Call, a 126th Air Refueling Wing podcast focused on people, mission, and community. I'm Tech Sergeant Brian Ellison.